So when I was younger, all my cousins would come over to my house and hang out with my sister and I. The parents would go to work and the kids would look after each other. Hashtag immigrant hustle. Now, one day shortly after our parents left, we were in the middle of playing video games when the house phone rang. Yeah, a house phone. It's like a cell phone, but attached to your house. Oh, God, I'm showing my age. So, my older cousin answered it. Hello? Hello? No answer. Weird, but whatever. So we continued playing video games. Until the phone rang again. This time another cousin answered. Same thing. No answer. Now, at this point, we could have made up rational conclusions such as, maybe it's the wrong number, or bad connection, a telemarketer, whatever. But that's not what kids do. Instead, we concluded that someone was definitely trying to murder us and we should come up with a master plan to stop it. Come to think of it, this might have been around the holidays and we may or may not have been watching Home Alone, but I swear to God, that doesn't have anything to do with it. So it began. We decided we were going to document whenever we would receive calls. I mean, all the details, the date, the time, everything. Now, we noticed a pattern in the calls that happened every single day. And by pattern, I mean we made this conclusion on day 2. Okay, listen, patterns can be 2 days. But either way, this became our new obsession. On day 3, we received more calls than usual. It was definitely a sign. So we began to brainstorm. Is it a robber? A spirit? A demon? The possibilities were endless. I mean, something just didn't feel right. Our brainstorm was interrupted by one of my cousins when they said, "Hey, did you hear that?" Now, I definitely did not, but nonetheless I replied, "Yes, oh my God, what was that?" I didn't want to be the first to die by denying the presence of the demon. I mean, maybe something was in our house. It was time to take action. We gathered all of the utensils in the drawers and headed straight to the master bedroom. The plan was simple. Lock ourselves in the room as a group and create a safe haven. Duh. I don't know why people in horror movies always split up. Is this your first day? But before locking ourselves in the room, we strategically placed 3 toys on the floor, spaced out perfectly. Hours went by with us locked in that room, pacing, stressing, sweating, and terrified of the phone ringing. But eventually our hunger got the best of us and we were in desperate need of Oreos. So we decided to slowly and carefully make our way to the kitchen. After what seems like a lifetime, we finally made it to the kitchen and let out a huge sigh of relief. We're fine, we're just acting ridiculous. Until one of my cousins says, "One of the pigs fell." We freeze. Together, we slowly look over at where we placed the line of piggies and notice that one had taken a tumble. How? Who could have possibly knocked it over, or rather, what? We freak out. Now at this point, it's survival mode. It's either us or the demon, and we decide we need to stand our ground. We open every door within the house, each holding the biggest utensil we could find, and screaming. Door, open, jab, fork, scream, repeat. Door, open, jab, fork, repeat. But we found nothing. A couple hours later, our parents came home and everyone left. Since that day, we never received a call. We never felt anything suspicious. I mean, obviously, which demon wants to mess with a bunch of kids holding some forks?
It was a regular day, but I wasn't feeling so well. So that morning, my mom drove me to school and we were in the parking lot in the car. I was like, "Mom, I feel like I'm going to vomit today. Like, what's going to happen if I do? I don't want anyone to make fun of me. I don't want them to say anything bad about me. I don't." And I was just like, "Mom, you can't let me vomit at school. Please take me home." And my mom replied very coolly and calmly, "You're not going to vomit. Stop overreacting." So I went to school and it was time for class. And I sat beside the meanest girl in her grade. She was very mean and manipulative, and she always dressed in pink, wearing a pink headband. She just really aggravated me. And I so happened to sit beside her. I started to feel a bit weird. My stomach started to grumble. It felt like like I was having an earthquake in my stomach. I felt something going up my throat. In my mind, I was screaming, no, this can't be happening. No, this is not happening to me. I was like, okay, I need to vomit, I need to go to the bathroom, react fast, and it will all be okay. So I got up, and the mean girl, I was moving her desk very gently. I was pushing it away so I could pass to go to the bathroom. And she wasn't letting me pass through, being the mean witch she was. And I kept on pushing her chair forward so I could pass, but she wouldn't let me. So I stood there and I finally just pushed her. And she hit into the desk so hard, literally so hard. I could see her eyes turning red and it looked like she poked out a few devil horns. I turned around and the vomit was coming up, literally gagging, and I just vomited. And everyone turned around and started to point fingers and laugh at her, and I feel really bad because this is my fault. And ever since then, she hated me. But it's life. So that's my story.
It all started in 6th grade, where we were going to do the frog dissection, and I was so excited for this because ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to dissect a frog. We were split into groups, but if you don't know, I'm an introvert, and I like to do things by myself. I probably could have done this whole thing by myself, but you gotta learn how to work together in the future, or else you'll be a sad, lonely man. Okay, now we were split in a group, and there was this bully in our group. He was mean to most people. He said a lot of bad things to people, so he was going to choose the frog. Now, when he chose a frog, he splatted on the tray, but it was like bigger than the tray. It was a huge frog. Now, we had to check the mouth, and the tongue looked like it had been melted off. It was just disgusting. We don't know what happened to the tongue. Like, there was people crowded around us, and we really didn't know what happened. So, now it was time to get to the dissecting part. Sadly, it wasn't me who was going to dissect it. It was... When she was dissecting it, we couldn't even see the organs because it was covered with eggs. It was really disgusting. There was a girl across the table who had a pale white face, and we were looking at her saying, hey, are you going to be okay? And then all of a sudden she just starts to pass out. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Do we continue with the dissection? I was very traumatized, because we weren't even done and class was almost over, and now someone in our group just passed out. Now the teacher gave her a wheelchair and rolled her to the nurse. We didn't learn anything because now class is over and we failed that quiz, and we had a reason to. Now, I don't think there's really a moral to the story, but if I can come up with one from the top of my head, maybe it's so don't be with a nauseous girl if you're dissecting a frog.
It was when I was 8 years old when I realized I shouldn't take life for granted. I was diagnosed with AML, high-risk foot-through leukemia, with a 5% chance of living. Before I was diagnosed, I was very adventurous. I loved to get out of the house and do stuff. When I had cancer, I couldn't do any of that stuff, but sit in bed for 200 days straight. I was so eager to get out and do stuff, giving anything just to go out and adventure. I was told that I might die, and I didn't want to die this young. I wanted to go out and explore the world. 1 year later, I was finally in remission, and I was released to be a normal kid. Right away, I went with my friend to go explore. I decided to create a YouTube channel, The Adrenaline Bros, to share my story. I now don't take life for granted. Time flies, so don't waste your time. Remember, live life to the fullest.